Hey y'all, and welcome to PolitiBrawl. My name is Brian, and Tucker Carlson absolutely roasts this woke professor for what he said in the New York Times.
You crossed the line. Let me just ask you another question and let you answer it quickly, which is, how would you feel if I told my children in an op-ed in the New York Times what you told your children, but the colors were reversed?
Actually, Tucker, can I ask you a question?
Of course.
Will you teach your girls to be cautious around men until they prove that they are men that can be trusted?
Men, but not men of a certain race, because I don't
Right.
think that the races are as different as you think they are. You think one is good and one is evil. That's what you said in your piece.
I didn't at all say that in the piece, and if you can cite that, I'd be very happy to see it. But
Well,
but what I
you
did
said
say,
you can't trust them.
I did say it. No, I did say that, and I think in the
I don't know
same
if we're
way.
making headway, but I'm going to give you. I asked you a question. Can you answer it? How would you feel if I wrote that piece?
No, forgive me. You asked me a question, and I returned the question, so I want to conclude on that. Look, in the same way that you will teach your daughters to be careful around men until they prove that they can be gentlemen, if somebody said, "Oh my God, that's outrageous. Tucker Carlson is teaching his daughters that men are evil," that would be laughable.
You're
What
conflating
teaching your
sex
daughters,
with race.
Forgive me.
Because, no, you forgive me, because we acknowledge differences between the sexes, but not significant ones between the races.
That is incredible. It is mind-numbingly incredible. The fact that he can sit there and make this ridiculous argument and then conflate the two as if they're the same thing. They're not. They're clearly not. And Tucker is not finished here. He's going to spank him a little bit harder.
And so that's sophism, what you're doing right
I don't
now.
think it's sophism at all.
Of course it is.
I find it remarkable that you can live in the America we live in and pretend that we oughtn't see that racial lines are equally divisive.
That's not what I was saying. I said, would you be okay with me writing this piece to my children if the races were reversed?
Because
you haven't answered the question.
Because the facts are different, Tucker.
Okay.
Listen,
because one goes bad, one's good. All right, got it.
That's absurd. If I don't teach my boys how to be cautious, how to be careful, how to be perceived in the right way,
all right,
I'm not just risking their feelings being hurt. I'm risking their bodies being broken.
Should I teach my kids that?
You don't teach your daughters to be cautious until they can be sure that the men around them are trustworthy? Tell me.
That's not what the conversation is about. It's not about sex. It's about race.
Right.
And no, I don't teach them that there are dramatic differences between the races because I'm not a bigot.
So to be sure, it's fine for you to care for your daughters and make sure that they're healthy and well. But if I care for my sons in the same way...
That is sophism, ladies and gentlemen.
I can't imagine a world where any of what he said makes sense. What I can imagine is a world where we've been getting to for so long. We've been trying and trying as a species, as a race, and even as a country to essentially be better about racism. And it's okay to talk in these terms. We got to a point where, okay, we're all equal, we all have the same rights. Are we good? Are we going to start treating each other better? And the American people said yes. We found that middle ground, and we held it. The problem is, there's a point where you fall off that hill, you fall off that knife's edge, and you start getting worse. And I hate the language reverse racism. There's no such thing as reverse racism. There's just racism. And this guy is being racist. He has told his children to be careful around white people. Basically saying, those people bad. Okay? And this professor thinks that's a good thing. He thinks it's a smart thing. As a matter of fact, he got such a platform that he got to write his own opinion piece in the New York Times, which that rag is probably not worth wiping your own rear ends anymore, but still, the fact that he got into a mainstream network and spewed what is essentially racism is absolutely disgusting. And if you call them out on being a racist, well, you're going to trigger the nearby liberals. And if you want to trigger a liberal in your life, go over to my friends over at basebuy.shop, link in the description below, and show the world just how conservative you really are. So, Tucker's right to excoriate him. Tucker's right to call him a sophist, because he is. This professor is quite literally a sophist. Someone who is using a fallacious argument. And there's not much more I can say about that. The guy's using spacious reasoning. He is conflating two things that don't need to be conflated because they aren't even in the same ballpark. And what he's spewing is essentially racism. And it's okay to say no to that. You're supposed to say no to that. But like I said, there's a certain line where you go too far and you overcorrect a problem and everything starts getting worse. Well, we've jumped across that line. This guy is tap dancing on the other side of the mind and probably setting off landmines while he's doing it. Because this is just weird. I don't fully understand what is becoming of the left. It's very sad to watch. Folks, my name is Brian. Hope you enjoyed this segment here on PolitiBrawl. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Catch you on the next one. And until then, y'all have a good one.